Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alamin. My today's topic is values make us valuable. And how these values make us valuable, we're going to discuss that today. I have discussed 8 universal laws, the values, and I'm going to discuss 3 more today. And as I mentioned, these laws are omnipresent. They're always there. They're constantly working. They're constantly exerting on us. We know them or we don't know them. We believe in them or we don't believe in them. It does not matter. They still exert on us. So it is imperative for us to understand them, and deeply understand them, believe in them, so we can follow them consciously, presently in our daily practical life. The whole purpose is how can we make them our daily life. So that's why we are here to discuss these laws. The first law I'm going to discuss is law of non-resistance. This law is almost 9 over 10 people violates this law. For the reason for why we do that, because in the man-made world, they made us believe that competition is the way to go. And when humans compete with each other, they resist each other. They compete, they resist, they react. So when you react, when you compete, when you resist, it persists. So anything you're going to resist is going to persist and grow on you. So that's the reason we have to understand this law, how it works, and how can we avoid these constant resistance what we have. We are programmed to resist for a long period of time. So when you are programmed, it goes into your paradigm. So that's why it's very difficult to first undo it, and then we have to do something better. So that for that reason, we have to, it's a little bit confusing. Resistance, we have to understand what is resistance. Resistance is anything, it's a signal which tells you that you are on a right path. That's funny. So resistance, anything which becomes a signal and tells you that you are on a right path. And it brings benefit to you, any resistance in your life. So if you have a lot of resistance in your way, that means you have a lot of challenges. And each challenge you overcome, you grow. You actualize your potential. But remember, do not resist that resistance. You try to solve it. Try to overcome it. But do not strike your heads against it. Let me give you an example. I believe everybody knows there is a Thokar Niaz in Lahore. I probably mentioned in the past, when the water comes from the mountains, it doesn't require any thokren, but still there are thokrans. But when it comes on the flat surface, so water goes against the surface of the earth. So that's the resistance. So it slows down eventually. For that reason, the law of physics says you create wedges inside the rivers or canals on a flat surface, like in Punjab. So this way the water comes and goes up and then goes down, and it becomes faster. So to make the flow running faster, you have to create resistance. So this is how in human life, these resistance makes our flow of life faster. So every resistance we have to overcome and we become faster. So that's why resistance is there. But we do not have to resist it. We have to overcome it, resolve it. When I started learning the Quran, and you become emotional, you become very excited, you want to tell the whole world what you know, and you come out. When you come out emotionally, that's not good. Because Iqbal said, Nala hai bulbule shorida tera kham abhi. Nala hai bulbule shorida tera kham abhi. Apne seene mein ise aur zara tham abhi. Because it's not pukhta, it's not developed yet. You don't know anything. You're just coming out, learning a tiny thing, and you're gonna be bombarded. You're gonna be resisted. So hold on. Only come out when you think you are developed. So what happened? It hit me on my face. Then I realized, no, something is wrong with me. Probably I don't have enough knowledge. So I retreat and re-strategize that I have to learn a lot. There's no other way I can resist them. So this is, then Iqbal himself said later on, he said, Pire Haram ne kaha, sunke meri rudad. Later on, he's telling us, khud hi bata raha hai. Pire Haram ne kaha, sunke meri rudad, pukhta hai teri fugan. Now, pukhta hai teri fugan, ab na ise dil mein tham. Now you can go ahead and tell. So the resistance is good for you, but how you handle it. So what happens is when we get entangled, when we resist, it persists, it grows on you, and you cannot move forward, only move forward up to that resistance. This is why when we start telling people and we get entangled with the namaz ke issue or roze ke issue, and then your goal, you loses out of your sight. The actual message you can't deliver. You get entangled with these resistances. We have to come up with some common values first. So that's the reason we have to be careful to resist any resistance. The second thing is, if there is no resistance in your life, that means you are in your comfort zone. You are living in the past. So that means you're not having a new challenges in your life. But if you have a resistance, that is good. But as we mentioned, you just have to respond, not resist, and then resolve it, and then move on. Once you resolve one thing, you get power to get forward. So that is the first point in law of resistance, non-resistance. So the best example for non-existence, actually, if you look at it, persistence with non-resistance is the water example. Water, it flows so beautifully. It makes its own ways, not resisting it, and then keep moving. A beautiful flow. This is how we should do. We should not strike and bang and waste our energies and lose the actual objective. So this is how I think we should take the message that we should not, if we keep fighting in our life, keep arguing, keep resisting, keep opposing, that means we're gonna create so many hurdles in our life, and we get entangled with them, and we waste our energies, and we never grow further. So what happened? If you avoid all these hurdles, you will get to your goal faster. Simple. So that's the best thing to do. I think it's just crazy. You don't want to get into these hurdles, and I have a pretty good experience of that. So, and that happens when you are emotional. Same with your inner. If you have a lot of guilty thoughts, you don't resist and hide them under the carpet in your unconscious. What you do is you resolve them. You forget them. You forgive it. And then remove it from your unconscious. So you can move on. Don't carry that burden. It pulls you back. So you become light when you do that. Somebody's yelling at you. Let him yell. Let him vent all his negative. If you resist, when you resist, the negative becomes multiply. It doubles, actually more than that. It multiplies. You resist, he resists, you resist, he resists. It's gonna go crazy, and you go nowhere. So that's the reason you don't play judo. Judo is you hit one and he hit one. So you strike one thing and he strike one thing. But you play keto. Keto is if he hit you, you just do this, and hit this way, you go this way. So you're not resisting, you're protecting yourself and defending yourself. That's it. Who's losing energy? Hitting him. You're not losing it. You're just moving this way or this way. Simple. So this way you don't lose energy, and you say goodbye. See you tomorrow. So that's how we should play. So anything you resist. When resist means a reaction. And reaction is a habit. React is a habit. And then you always lose, because habit is your unconscious. You unconsciously doing something. Somebody yelled at you, you yelled it back unconsciously. It's a habit. But when you respond, you use your higher faculties. You think before you respond. You always win. So what is better, reacting or responding? So this is the whole message in law of non-resistance. So because in this world today, we train that way because of competition. So we have to realize human law is not competition. Human law is cooperation. So that's the reason we have to undo this one, competition, bring cooperation and non-resistance. So now the second law is the law of sacrifice. That is very amazing law, crazy. And it seems like it has a negative connotation, but no, it does not. It's very interesting. This is the most misunderstood law. We were taught that sacrifice means letting go something that you value the most. Or you're losing something, but that's not true either. Law of sacrifice bring you nothing but good in your life. This is, we have to carefully understand it. This is it's like law of increase, but this one is even better than that. So sacrifice is not you losing something. Sacrifice, the definition of it letting something of lower values to bring higher values. Means you create a vacuum by letting something of lower values and let higher value comes to your life. You see, to me, it was mind-boggling. If you look at the example of Socrates, when they ask him to leave the country, or you tell us the truth that you are taking this youth away from us, so he didn't go outside the jurisdiction, and he did not tell the lie. He said, I will not go, then I'm not Socrates. So what he did, he took the poison. So he preserved the value. He preserved not the truth, not telling the lie. So but the earthly life, he gave up to take the higher values. Same way, when Prophet Ibrahim asked his son that my dream is to sacrifice you. And he was perplexed. He said, okay, if this is the God's plan, then that's fine. And he said, you're the older brother, and your younger brother is Isaac, and he's going to be the king. You're supposed to be, you're the older. So, but you have to sacrifice, you give the kingship to your brother, younger brother, and you go with me. I want to sacrifice you. You have to sacrifice something to go with me, to build such a thing, such a symbol for the humanity forever, the physical symbol of unity of humanity. And that he gave his sacrifice, he gave that worldly things to achieve the higher value thing. So this sacrifice does not mean you losing something. Sacrifice, for a very simple example, let's say you have a couch in your home, right? A dirty couch, now it's old. You're thinking, oh, you know what? I'm gonna bring a new one. You can't bring a new one. You have to sacrifice that old one first, because you have to create a space there. Once you remove it, the new one definitely comes because there is a space. You said, oh, we have to get it. We can't sit anywhere. So when you create a vacuum, that's where thing happens. So you lose the lower values things to have a higher value things. The sacrifice is not a bad thing, that, or you don't sacrifice others. Like, we sacrifice goat on Eid al-Baqarah, but that's not fair. As the goat is sacrificing himself, you're not doing anything. So basically, you have to sacrifice something. And sacrifice, actually, you know that there's nothing free in this world. There's no free lunch. That doesn't exist. So everything requires sacrifice and discipline. Sacrifice, as I mentioned, you letting your lower value things goes and bring higher values in your life. And that is discipline. Discipline is when you give a command to yourself. Again, discipline is when you give a command to yourself and you stick to it, to make a will. Oh, to this year, December 31st, I'm making a commitment that I'm not going to do this. I'm going to go to gym. I'm going to make a body. And that's my resolution. And you go there 2-3 times, and that's the end of your resolution. So that discipline is when you command yourself and you stick to it. These two things requires in this whole process, in this whole law. We, as I said, we are programmed to hold on to these things and also acquire more and more and more. We are all programmed that way. And why are we doing that? Why do we do that? Why we can't let things go? And that is because we are earthbound. We, as long as we are earthbound, we utilize our physical senses, what we call five senses, and we collect data, and that is still earthly. And when we involved in this earth, and that's where we cannot come out of it. We are more and more into the things, worldly things. As long as we are utilizing our five senses, physical senses, and we collect data, we are still at the earth level. That's why we don't let these things go. We are earthbound. The reason why we don't let these things go, it's our lack of ability or lack of belief in ourselves that we can't create more. If we understand that, if we believe in ourselves, I think when we say, I believe in myself, that does not put much stress on that sentence. It on us too. I believe in myself, you believe in yourself. But when you say, I do not understand myself, then you really worried that you don't understand yourself. You better understand yourself. Who are you? So because we don't let these things go, because we have no belief that we can create that again. We can bring them back by our mental faculties. So these are the things we create. So we can create it again. So that's the lack of belief or understanding about yourself is the reason we get scared, fearful, and we don't let these things go. That's why higher thing doesn't come to us. And if we want higher things, we have to let these things go. So that's the reason. As Iqbal says, Jane ke bakshan digar na girand, Adam bamirad azbe yakini. God has given us the life not to take away. Adam dies not believing in himself. So that's the reason we don't do these things. As Einstein said, what I remember, we are living in a space of infinite frequencies. Everything is in this universe is energy, nothing else. You take that frequency, whatever you want, and you can't help but to get that frequency, get that reality. And Einstein said it is not a philosophy, it is a physics. Okay, today it's easy to understand. Okay, when I ponder on it, initially I didn't get it. Then I said, let me see what he's trying to tell us. If you, in today's world, look, in this world, we are almost 8 billion people. And almost 8 billion people, I think, have cell phones in their hands. So each phone has a very specific frequency, the cell phone number, right? So if you dial that number, you're only gonna talk to that frequency. You cannot go anywhere else. So they are so specific. So the everything in this world is already existed. Everything was here and everything will be here. Whatever you want to create, whatever you want to make on a physical plane, it exists in the omnipresent. What happens is we only become more aware. That's it. The Wright brothers became more aware that the flying formula was there, always existed in the past and future. It's a human gets more aware and start creating these things. We just bring them from heaven to earth, from Sama to earth. We just bring them from our higher faculties to physical form. That's it. We have to believe everything is around us. You have to just, like when you have a radio, you have a AM waves and FM waves and FM1 and FM2. If you are on an AM, the sounds are not good. You have to listen very carefully and it's making so much noises in it. But when you go to a FM, it's more clear. When you go to FM1, it's better. Which frequency do you want? Higher frequency, not low frequency. But you have to sacrifice something. You have to remove all those Mediasan and those songs from AM. You have to go to FM. So you have to change you have to elevate to achieve the higher frequencies. So that's the whole law of sacrifice. You're not losing anything, basically. Remember that. We have this wrong impression that we're going to lose something if we sacrifice something. So that's the basic point in law of sacrifice. You could create a vacuum, you let go old things and let the new thing comes in, higher things come in. If you look at any player, Olympic player, the magical result they create. You think those results come by chance or by accident? No. It requires sacrifice and so that is the main point behind their success. So they are so disciplined. This discipline, sacrifice and the disciplines are the two things that make them gold medalist. And it's day and night effort. And you have to understand that discipline, which is consciously chosen, ardently desired, and patiently persisted in. So anything you consciously choose, ardently desire, put your emotion in it, and persistently act on it. It's sacrifice and discipline, two things, but you achieve your reality. So this is how we have to do things. Otherwise, we don't achieve our goals, our aims, our ambitions. We can't if we don't have law of sacrifice and your discipline in it. So if you look at carefully, we train domestic animals. We conquer the forces of the universe for our benefit. And when it comes to human, us, the highest form of creation of God, we let our thoughts run wild. I mean, imagine we spend so much, even we trained our children, we trained our animals, we conquered the forces of nature, we tame them, but we can't tame our own thoughts. We can't tame our own imaginations. So this is where we have to work. So that's as Iqbal beautifully said, ढूंढने वाला सितारों की गुजरगाहों का, ढूंढने वाला सितारों की गुजरगाहों का अपने अफकार की दुनिया में सफर कर ना सका. I mean, you're controlling the rays of the sun, but you can't control on your thoughts. So this is what Iqbal, the same thing he's saying. Amazingly, he has every answer for everything. जिसने सूरज की शुआओं को गिरफ्तार किया, जिसने सूरज की शुआओं को गिरफ्तार किया, जिंदगी की शबे तारीख सहर कर ना सका. So imagine this is where we are. So it requires sacrifice and discipline. So that's what we have to use. Two things. You cannot achieve your ambitions unless you use, especially, there's a lot of other things, but sacrifice and discipline your thought, control your higher faculties, develop your higher faculties, then you can do that. If you want to change yourself, you have to change your paradigm. Paradigm is basically a multitude of habits which resides in your unconscious. Because everything we do, we repeat it and make a habit and put it in our unconscious. Because unconscious is an executive branch of us. They execute our decisions. Our conscious is a judicial branch, is a lawmaking branch that makes laws and give it to the executive branch, which is unconscious, and that execute our decisions. But we cannot give unconscious verbally something. We have to repeat those things with emotions and make a habit, and then we have to, this is how you write with your own pen. Your pen is conscious. Your notebook is your unconscious. So you have to write this way to embed it in your unconscious, so your unconscious can execute your thoughts, your decision, your laws. You're a lawmaker, but we have to put it because God, he did not write our book. He gave us blank, but he gave us pen. But he wrote everything in the universe with his own pen. But he did not utilize his pen to write our destiny. We have to write our own destiny. That's so beautiful. So, this is how we change our paradigms. We have to pick up each law of Quran, understand it, repeat it, make it part of our habit, daily habit, give it to subconscious. And that's how you make your nafse amara gradually to nafse mutmainna. And then you don't have to worry about it. He become Muslim. It doesn't go against you. Now whatever you think, it happens. So that's how it is. So if we have to go up, we have to get up. If you're lying in a bed in a comfort zone, when you get up, you have to leave the comfort zone. And that's how you're up. The next step is grow up to go up. How do you grow? Consciously, increasing your higher faculties, by reading, by learning. So again, what you're sacrificing when you're doing it, you're not being with your friends, you're not going to the movies, you're sitting at night and reading and learning, and where is another book coming? What's new book, right? So you are polishing your higher faculties. So you're giving up a lot. You're sacrificing a lot of lower things to get the higher faculties polished. So you have to grow up to go up. You have to give up to go up. And there's another amazing thing. You have to give up to stay up. You have to get up to go up. You have to grow up to go up. You have to give up to go up. But you give up to stay up also. Because what happened, every team, when they win, the next year they don't win gold medal, because they don't give up constantly. They start having a fun parties, they get fat, and then they don't play properly. So that's why Quran very clearly told us that is the test for you. He mentioned in the Surah Fatah, he said, إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا. Up to that level, he said, now you have won. All the doors are open for you. People are joining you from all over the places. You created a beautiful system, but can you maintain it? Creating, you didn't have that much effort. You're going to put more effort now. And then he said, فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا. That's where the whole task comes in front of you. Now you have to put your effort double. So you give up to stay up also. If you want to be evergreen, you have to do that. So that's the thing. We have to remember, we cannot just have a free lunch. You have to give up something. You have to put your own effort. Nobody else's effort. Nobody else's effort will benefit you. Nobody's understanding of Quran will help you. You have a unique perception. You have to understand yourself. The only book given it to you in one life, one body, one book, one God, one prophet, 70 years. Do it. You're reading zillions of other books. You're dealing with zillions of other people. Deal with yourself. That is accountable only. You don't have to worry about others. You don't have to worry. You have to read other books to understand and to make food for yourself. But I'm saying, this is the only book. A question's gonna come. This is not optional book. Optional books are others. This is compulsory. If you fail in compulsory, you're done. So we have to be very careful. So you have to sacrifice. When you do something, you win. People are appreciating you, affirming you, and you tum phul jate ho, and then you don't grow further. So you have to sacrifice affirmation for accomplishment. You have to sacrifice financial gains for future potentials. You have to sacrifice immediate gains, immediate pleasures for personal growth. You have to sacrifice your acceptance for excellence. If you get accepted by people, oh, you're doing great job, okay, and then you don't move forward. So you have to sacrifice acceptance for excellence. You have to sacrifice security for significance. This is very interesting, this one. You see, when you are sacrificing your security, that is the ultimate thing you can do. You're giving your life away for something, for some passion, that you become significant. If I want to be significant, I have to give my life. That is the ultimate thing. It's just crazy how Iqbal puts this thing in his words. He said, "Bartaraz andeshaye sudo ziyan hai zindagi hai kabhi jaan aur kabhi taslim jaan hai zindagi." Sometimes you have to give your life to become significant. So once you give your security, that is the ultimate your growth. That is where Iqbal's Ramuz-e-Bekhudi comes into picture, the secret of selflessness. And you have to sacrifice quantity of life for quality of life. We gather a lot of quantity, but then we realize this quantity is not making me happy. So I need quality of life. So this is where people start thinking, my God, I have so much stuff. They were showing on us on the TV, rich and famous. They have boats, they have houses, they have a plane, they're rich, they're happy. No. Is that success? Is that making them happiness? We have to understand it. What is success? So the next law is law of success. Success, what is success? Is it money? Is it fame? Or is it material gain? So what is success? This sentence is the most beautiful sentence if we understand. It's just crazy for me. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Let me repeat it. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And it's just, again, Iqbal comes to my mind. He says, "Tu rah navarde shauk hai." Beautifully, Iqbal put in his word the same thing. What he's trying to say, that passion of Majnun is the most important things. It's not the acquiring Laila. It's not. There is no destination in the journey. Your destination should continuously change. Your worthy ideals, it should be ongoing. If you achieve it, if you acquire it, that passion what you had is gone. And he doesn't want to lose that passion. That is the most beautiful thing for going forward, going higher, going up. That passion leads you to your highest realization. But don't settle on any goals. So that's the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Success is making a decision and going towards it. You want to go, you're here, you want to go there. Definitely want to go there. And you don't know how? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it how. The how will be shown to you as you go towards it. If you don't know how, nobody knew how to make a plane. They were cycle makers. They don't know how to make plane. How will be shown to you as you decided to go towards it. It's so beautiful. If you know your why, this is very important to understand. If you know your why, you can overcome any how. You see, what do you want? That is your how. Why do you want? That is your why. That is your purpose. Why is your purpose? Hikmat. Quran says we gave you the laws, but we gave you why of it too. So you have the purpose. Hikmat he has to be there. We all say I love myself. Why do I love myself? Why? Why is the purpose? How is what you want? I mean, that comes to you. You don't have to worry about if you know it or you don't know it. Once you start walking towards that direction, it will be shown to you. And I have my personal experience. You don't have to know how you're going to do it. It happens once you decide it. So that's very, very crucial to understand. Success is a determination or predetermined goal, and executing it, that goal successfully over a period of time. Success is a predetermined goal, and executing that goal over a long period of time, having fun doing it. Not like every day you're getting up, you say, oh my God, I have to go to work again. Not like that. You jump out of bed. Having fun doing that is the key. That makes you successful and happy. Success is not a destination, as I said, as Iqbal said. It is a quality of your journey. It's because you rah na varde shauk hai, manzil na kar kabool. It's not a destination. And don't kabool the manzil. It's the traveling with that passion. You can achieve anyhow. As many hows come on your way, you're going to achieve it with that passion. Because you know your why. Right? So that's how. You have to ask yourself, what is your desire? What is your success? What burns inside of you? What burns in your heart and soul? Pursue that. That will be your success. Your passion is your success. Find out what you have in your heart and soul, and then you will pursue it. It's a success. It's like a chemistry in your brain. It's a mindset. It's a how do you feel about yourself when no one else is around you? How do you feel then? That feeling gives you success. Is a choice. Success is a mindset. Success is finding something you would die for or live for it. You have to figure it out, what you really want to die for or live for it. And that is success, adding values to others, to the world, through your unique gift, what God has given everyone. Unique gift, everyone is unique. And that is, they have that gift, which they have to give towards, sacrifice that gift towards the world, towards the others. And they're probably doing it at their own levels. Some is participating this much, some is this much, some is this much, some is way higher. But everybody is participating in this world. Everybody is unique. So we can't say that. Success is whatever you achieve on your own. You're not dependent on anybody. Success is when you have your own idea. You're not slave to anybody's else idea. That is success. Success is leaving behind legacy that outlives you. You die, but you don't die actually. You live forever. That kind of success. Success is taking challenges and overcome them. Chasing and choosing and achieving your goals, ongoing goals. And that's accomplishing your goals. This is success. So relentless acquisition of your skills. You see, we learn something and we say, oh, we know everything now, that's it. No, this is how everybody should understand life, that there's nothing end to it. We have to keep learning relentlessly, acquiring skills, ongoing skills. There's so much out there, so we cannot put a stop on us and not moving forward. So that's very, very important. And you have to give yourself a little permission to be imperfect, because as long as we have the body, we can't be perfect. We still have so many thoughts. When we become thought, yes, then we don't have body. Then we are okay. So still we're gonna learn. But as long as we have a body, we know we're gonna learn, keep learning, because we're not there yet. We're not there yet. So yeah, so learning happens two ways: by our perception, by our five senses: touch, taste, smell, hearing, vision. But if you carefully analyze that, these are physical senses related to the earth. We are getting data from the surrounding universe and earth. And if you carefully look at again, these are not five senses. These are only just one sense, because everything actually comes to touch. Taste is you have to touch. On retina the picture has to touch. So it is all what we're gathering is touch. And that still worldly things. So if we are trying to operate from worldly control to higher control, metaphysical control, we want to go to metaphysical domain starting from physical world. Does God work that way? Let's look at it. God does not work from lower potentials, from earth to heaven. He works through heaven to earth. He works through Sama to earth. He works through higher potentials to lower potentials. He works through metaphysics to physics. He works through conscious to physical. So if he works that way, and he's the higher self, so the lower self has to work that way too. Wherever the self is in the universe has to work the same way. So we are actually working reverse. So we want to start from here and achieve God. Oh, we said, Maslow says, the hierarchy of needs, you have to go through the basic needs, then the social needs, then the esteem needs, then your self-actualization, and then you find the God. Oh, by the time we achieve our basic needs, our legs are in the grave. Forget about realizing ourselves or realizing God. So we don't have that much time. We start from here. We have to create a society where we can start from higher faculties. We can create anything we want, any material thing we need. We can just think, imagine, and do it. This is how we work. And every day, every moment, if my thought comes, I'm thirsty, the matter comes to me. That's it. Thought has to come first. Metaphysics to physics. Water is physics. So if we realize that and we reverse it, we undo the other things, yes, in today's world, I'm not talking about it. We have to go through, because it's non-cooperative world. In non-cooperative world, you have to take care of yourself. You have to work hard, earn, build yourself, a body, and then build yourself. There's no choice. But we're talking about how we're gonna change and transform. That is a different thing. From our higher faculties, what are those faculties? What are those senses? So lower senses are 5, they say, but as you understood, they're not 5. It's only 1, touch. So now what are the other senses, higher senses? So higher senses are your perception. That is all. That is one. You see, perception include all 5 senses. So it becomes 1 if you look at that way. Your whole perception knowledge based on 5 senses. So you see, now you understand it's 1. It's now 5. Yeah, you touch it from different ways. So perception. So perception makes all human perceptual knowledge. Imagination. That's your higher faculty. And imagination leads to creation. Your will. Will is ability to concentrate and stick to it. Make a decision and stick to it. That requires will. The will. Intuition. That's your higher faculties. Intuition is very interesting because perception only look part of the whole, little piece of the whole thing, a little understanding of the whole thing. Intuition looks at whole at once. That is human higher faculty, and we have to actualize it. We have to develop it. And then memory. Memory is very, very important to have. Otherwise, you forget yourself. If you have a paralysis, you lose your memory. You don't even know who the hell are you. You don't even remember your name. So memory, to have memory, then everything functions. The reason is the key for human to grow. It differentiates us from animal kingdom. Reason, cognition, metacognition, these are abilities, faculties of human. We can grow on it. If you want to live from inside out, how we are living today, from outside in. What I said, seeing is believing. That's how we're living. We see it on the news and we believe it. What does it happen to you? You become slave to the information. But when you live from inside out, you think something and you create outside, you're a creator. That is beautiful. So we have to, if you want to live from inside out, you have to develop higher faculties. One who develops higher faculty, he is the most ultimate successful person. The ultimate success is whatever you think should happen, whatever you want, you get it. That is the success, the ultimate, with your higher potentials, with your higher faculties. You can do that. And God says, usse bhi zyada. Jo mangoge milega, jo chahoge hoga, usse bhi zyada. So that means that you can do that by developing your higher faculties. So the higher faculties is the one we have to concentrate. These 5 senses are just one thing, perception. That's it. What about the other 5? We don't concentrate on them. God's law actually never denies us. As I said, it's ocean of motion. All the frequencies are around. You want to pick up one. If it's a higher frequency, you have to go up a little bit higher and pick it up. That's it. You elevate yourself. You see, when you read Quran once, you understand some stuff. When you read second time, you infer a lot more weird things or great things. And you say, oh my God, I never knew this was there. The words were the same. No change in the Quranic word. It's your perception, your knowledge has risen up. You elevated yourself. That's why Quran says, if you want to come towards me, elevate yourself first. You need to elevate yourself too to understand it. So this is how, because these are very powerful, ultimate secret of God. You think he's going to give you very cheap price? No. He wants us to sacrifice a lot of things to get there. So that's how God wants us. But he doesn't deny us. Nothing. Nothing. He wants everyone to succeed. In the Quran, when he sees his people dying and something happened, he says, oh my God. He used the word hasrat. Oh, what did you do to yourself? He doesn't want anybody to go down. He made it to him, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. He said, you are the one, you just don't. ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. You put yourself lowest of the lowest. So it's you have to get up to go up, give up to go up, grow up to go up. You can't just stay in the bed in your comfort zone. He has to do. It's a purpose. God's purpose is to make the man great. He wants us to acquire these bounties around us. Not even acquire it. He wants us to enjoy it also. He wants us to enjoy these bounties too. He's not a bad guy, you know. He's our Rafiqi Allah. So why we are, they made us so terrified about this entity. You know, he's going to put you in a fire. He's going to put something in your ears and he's going to make you like, I don't know what. He says, I'm your best friend. Just listen to the best friend's advice. So you'll be fine. Each individual, he has given these higher faculties. It's not, that's why that individual becomes Lakad Karamna Bani Adam, dignified. The only reason he become dignified because he's given those set of faculties to everyone, not deprived anybody. He's not biased. So he said, utilize them. Be a little God. Show me you can do it. So this is where he gave us that, to exercise them. If we understand them, develop them properly, and utilize them scientifically, we will definitely going towards ongoing success. And that's his promise to us. So I think this is how we have to understand. The Quran says the same thing. I mean, this is an easier way to put things together so we can understand it. I mean, the Quranic verses, I have to take, probably all that I'm saying is 2 verses. It's so much there. It's for forever till the last human on this earth. So we have to understand in the context of today's knowledge of human intellect is up to here. That's all we're going to understand. Next generation will have intellect here. They will understand a little bit better from the same words because their conscious has risen up. Quranic words the same. So it's just that nature works the same way. Nature never knows failure. Nature never plans anything but success. Is every processes of nature is successful. You look at it. So that's why if we follow the nature, that's all we have to do to become subservient to nature or God, God's laws, natural laws. And we are actually servant, abd. Abd is the highest form of human. As I said, we born below animals. Then we become animal. Then we become Adam. Then we become insan. Then we become Muslim. Then we become mu'min. And then we become abd. That is the highest. If you become abd, all prophets were abd. Abduhu wa rasuluhu. And they are the one get the ultimate reward, ultimate results of their actions. And we are abd. We can be abd to the nature law, to the natural law, to God's laws. So yeah, so that's what happens when you become abd. He says, تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. Means every action will be bestowed by the divine energy and the forces of nature until the development of each self and emergence of Islam. Means when you do that, both the divine energy, the Quran, the Ruh, align with the forces of natures. Both work together for you, the laws of God and the forces of nature, and develop you to the highest level where you create the renaissance of that Quranic manifestation. And then when that happens, you create so much sustenance, so much light on this earth. Then Quran says, وَأَشْرَقَتُ الْأَرْضُ أَرْضَ بِنُورِ رَبِّهَا. Means the globe will be illuminated by the sustenance and the energy of God. Where's that energy coming from? He's delivering, every human is delivering energy. We were not participating. When we start participating 8 billion with that energy, the world will be illuminated. The sustenance is gonna be so much that every individual will develop to their highest level. So yeah, they say the prophets and the leaders, they are the dealer of hope, So the leaders are the dealer of hope. So hope is, we have to have a hope. But hope is not the only thing. Hope is not a real thing. We have to do real things. There's so much resources, so much frequency, so much energy, unlimited, infinite energy, where you can never take more than your share. Share concept comes when you have limited things. So you cut the pizza into 8 pieces and you divide it. But when you have infinite, you can keep taking anything, never happens, never ends. So that's the concept of his bounties. It never ends. I hope you understand these concepts are important in our life. We can apply it, make it part of our daily life. We cannot make it part of our daily life unless we make it a habit. You see, people make a resolution on the New Year, and then a month later they are done. Why that happens? because they only mentally decided, oh, I'm going to do this. It's a mental decision, but they never put their heart into it. And they never make it a habit. They don't write on their unconscious. They just say it. When you write it, then it happens. And that requires, obviously, the law of sacrifice. That requires the decision making. That requires the all the other giving up things. So I think this is the laws I wanted to discuss. And so the first law we discussed was law of thinking. As Quran says, summa tatafakkarun. So pause and reflect. Thinking differentiate human from animal kingdom. Thought are the very, very powerful force in the universe. As real as stone. As real as stone. You see, like if I have a thought, I can take a little sodium, which you don't see it, but then I take a little chloride, and you don't see it. I mix them, it becomes salt, a solid. You see how it's real, it's solid. So thoughts are not like, you don't see them, it's just metaphysical. It can create solid. So that's how God created the whole universe. So this is human works from thought to think. That's the whole thing about thinking is very, 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 very powerful. It can create anything you want. Whatever you can imagine, you can create. So the second law was the law of supply. As Allah said in the Quran, Allahu nuru samawati wal ardh. He is the energy of the heavens and the earth. So every human releases energy and participate with that energy. Every human creates and become a partner of creator. So that's and he has given the supply. Obviously, he has to give the supply, infinite supply, so we can keep going, creating, using it. So there's infinite supply of that, and that's where we, as I said, we can't take more than our share. One important thing here, very, very crucial thing here, human passions, human feelings, human emotions takes the maximum energy, attracts the maximum energy. So if somebody wants to take more energy from God's energy, that is the deal. Create that passion. You will have so much energy. Passion attracts the highest energy. Law of receiving we discussed. Like he says in the Quran, the allazina yunfikuna wasarrai wazarrai. So in any difficult times or easy times, it doesn't matter. You just have to sacrifice if you're gonna go up. You can't just hold on to things. So you let your things open, kind of, let it go, and something comes from this end beautifully. So yeah, whatever you have received in your life actually is a reflection of what you have been giving. And that is the basic principles of law of receiving is giving, is the paradoxical law. So now the law of forgiveness we discussed, and he obviously in the Quran is full of forgiveness. Forgive, forget. وَإِن تَعْفُوا وَتَصْفَحُوا وَتَغْفِرُوا. I mean, just forget it, darguzar kar do, jane do, just this is, you just, I mean, to the point where you have to take a stand, you need to take a stand. Forgiving is better, he says. This is why why he tells you, because this is the most liberating law. It gives you liberty. It gives you freedom. All those things you carrying, the jealousy, the hatred, the all these, the tools of fires which we're going to take with us, God says, right? Narullahil muqaddatullati tattali'u ala fida. That fire which is around your heart, these are the kole of that. So that's the reason he says, don't be jealous or envy or backbite or all these things. Quran explains everything, but this is I think we, on a daily basis, we understand if you backbiting, if you're having a jealousy, these things are not good things to carry. You're not damaging anybody but you. And if you have done, you see, when you make a mistake, you go against the law, you make a mistake. It's a sin. In religious language, it's a sin. And anything you have done, action, you can undo it. It's done. So the only way you can liberate yourself is by forgetting and forgiving. So Quran says, Innal hasanat yuzhibna sayyat. The only way you can do that is just start doing more good deeds. So that's it. The law of attractions we discuss. Aduni astajib lakum. That's the pukar. You mujhe pukaro, I'll give you the answer to your pukar. That is beautiful. So that is action is equal to reaction. He asks us to pukar me. Call me. Aduni. Pukar. Mujhe pukaro. So why we are stingy? Why we are saying, God, give me a car? Oh, God, give me a ghar, or house. Oh, ask miracle. Ask miracle. He's telling you, I will give you. Ask me. So if he's telling us, he has infinite things there. So ask miracle. Miracles is a known effect of unknown cause. So when you ask miracle, he will give you that. Things, Allazina Aman, it says, Alif Lam Mim Zalikal Kitabu La Rayba Fi Hudal Lil Muttaqin Allazina Yu'minuna Bil Ghaib. Bil Ghaib. You see? Miracle is what? Bil Ghaib. Is the known cause of unknown, known effect of unknown cause. You haven't seen it. The farmer does the same every day. He goes to take the seeds and put it in the earth. He doesn't know yet that 6 months later what's going to happen, but he believed in it. Ask miracles. So he will give it to you. Aduni astajib lakum. Mujhe pukaro. I'll give you the whatever you want. So then why we are stingy? Why we are asking little things? Ask miracles. But you have to take that pukar intellectually and internalize it emotionally and make it your passion. As I said, passion will attract the highest energy and create miracles. So that's how it happens. Like I said, you consciously, intellectually chose an idea, ardently desired, and patiently persisted in. That's how it's going to happen. So yeah, so then we discuss the law of increase. La in shakartum la azaidannakum. So if we follow God's law, which are ultimate laws, he will give us ultimate results. Ultimate. So if we put finger in the fire, it will burn. That's it. What you did, what you get. What goes around comes around. So that's all it is. He's going to give you that much. But if you follow his law, because his laws are the ultimate laws, then you will get ultimate result. Shikartum, the highest results. So then we discussed law of requital. Law of requital we discussed multiple times, and that is the you do what cause and effect. Basically, what you do, you will get the result. This is called law of requital is like alikaye Rab, खुदा से मिलना. हम खुदा से हर रोज नहीं, हर सेकंड मिलते हैं. You have to understand. You see, whatever I do, I will get the result. Human is an action doer. God is a result bringer. When I make actions, he comes in front of me. So we see each other, amna samna. That is likai Rab. I make and perform an action. He brings a reaction. He comes in front of me. So this is how we do. So that is the law of requital. And obviously, if we become abd, obedient servant to his laws, then we get the highest. Law of obedience. Law of obedience is the, as I mentioned, when we disobey the man-made laws, we get some freedom. Some freedom. But if we follow the God's law, the natural laws, the values, then we get the ultimate freedom. So if we want to be free, freedom from, freedom to, then we have to follow those laws. So then law of resistance, non-resistance, as we discussed that today. So the best example is persistent without resistance is the key to success. And that is, like I gave examples of water. Water is the best example of resistance with no persistence with no resistance. Yeah. So then we discussed, and remember in that law, do not resist. Resist. To resist is a habit. So you will lose. Respond. Respond, you use your higher faculties when you respond, and you will win. So that's, we have to calm down, think, and then respond. If we react, that is just a habit. That's like a knee-jerk reaction. Law of sacrifice. We discussed that just now. So sacrifice does not mean that you're losing something. Sacrifice means you letting something of lower values to let something higher value comes into your life. So you have to give up something to get something. You have to give up something to go up. Get up to go up, grow up to go up. So law of success, the last law we discussed. Success is that's the beautiful thing. The success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Tu rah na varde shauk hai, manzil na kar kabool. Laila bhi ho hum nashi, mehmil na kar kabool. That passion to go to achieve, but do not achieve. Do not acquire Laila. Once they're giving you in a palace, she lived in a desert. They said, if you're giving you in a beautiful palace, don't take it. You're going to lose that passion to move forward. So that passion is the one which gives you the energy. So development of your higher faculties is the key to ultimate success. So I think I've finished here.